Okay, so in this week's guitar lesson, we have a standalone composition. This is one of those little jam by yourself compositions that are so much fun to play, and it's a great way to practice because you don't have to get out a jam track. You can just grab your guitar and start going through the concepts. We're going to take everything that I played in the intro, we're going to break all that down note for note. That's going to be the framework, but there's a lot of educational material that goes with this. And there's also a lot of room for you to improvise, which you'll kind of understand as you get into this lesson. There's a lot of open space that you can play what I play, or you can start to improvise. And I hope that you start to do that because that's really the goal in all of these lessons. So we're going to be looking at four basic chords and 3 positions of the neck. We're also going to attach licks to those chords. So that really sort of opens up the whole neck and helps you to be able to see, how it all kind of fits together. We're also going to be looking at a major chord and its relative minor chord. I'll explain what that is. And I've got this lesson split into 2 parts. So in this video, we're going to go through the first half of what I played in the intro. If you'd like to learn the entire composition, as well as download the tablature and also access the on-screen tab viewer, which is interactive, you can slow down the playback, you can loop sections and all of that. You can get those things by going to activemelody.com, go to the weekly lessons page, and do a search for EP467. Okay, so this song is played in the key of A, and there's 2 chords we're going to start off and really pay attention to. These are the 2 kind of main chords that define this thing anyway. It's the A chord, and then the F sharp minor chord. Now that F sharp minor is the relative minor of A. And what I mean by that, and I've covered this in other lessons, but just a brief summary, every major chord has a relative minor chord. All major chords have relative minor chords. And then all relative minor chords have relative major chords. But it just means that those 2 chords are related. And the way that they're related is they share the same scale, the A major scale. Those notes are the same notes that you'd find if you were playing the F sharp minor scale or the natural minor scale. It's exact same notes. So it depends on the chord underneath it that defines that. Now, why am I saying all of that? Well, as we get into this composition and we play the chords and then we throw in the fill licks, it's important for you to know where those licks are coming from so that if you want to take this thing in your own direction and improvise, you know how to do that. Now, as I mentioned, the A major chord, which is really just made up of the A major scale, that shares the same notes as the F sharp minor scale. The same is true then of the pentatonics. So if we think of the A major pentatonic scale, in fact, let's play it. If we look at our A chord here using the A shape down in first position, we play major pentatonic scale pattern 1 for A. Good old pattern 1, right? That's our favorite one. It's right here. Now, if I were to play the F sharp minor pentatonic scale, same notes. That's a hard concept. That's one of the hardest concepts for some people to get their head around. And it took me a long time too. But once you get that, once you understand that A major pentatonic scale and F sharp minor pentatonic scale are the same scale, the same exact notes, then what makes one stand out versus the other, it depends on the chord underneath it. So if the song has an A chord and you play those same notes, it's going to sound like an A major. It's going to sound happy or positive because it's major pentatonic. And if it's got the F sharp minor, it's going to sound sad. So that's that relationship of the major chord and its relative minor chord. Okay, so that's major chord and its relative minor. Let's talk about this rhythm pattern here. Now, I could break this down. I was going to go like 1 E and a 2 E and get down into the weeds that way, but here's how I count it, and this is just how I think of it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you can see that you get to the F sharp minor a little ahead of the beat, ahead of the next measure. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now, before you move on to anything, just try and understand that timing, that feel, the cadence of this thing. And I know a lot of you struggle with timing. I get emails from you, and I think it's doing a little bit of a disservice to break it down to such a granular level, because it's not the way that it really works. Like if you were just counting this out, you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. You just kind of feel it like that. And you could just use downstrokes. Just, you know, with the right hand, you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Now, where it starts to sound more rhythmic is when you can add in the upstrokes and then some muted strums. So it starts to sound like this. 2, 3, 4. So try that and kind of build up to that level. Now the next thing we're going to add to it goes like this. Little embellishment there. Let's look at what's going on there. So that's off the A chord. And what I'm playing, I've got my middle finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd string, my ring finger on the 4th fret, 3rd string. And I'm playing those two notes. So I keep the bar on the 2nd fret, and I go like this. It's just strings 2 and 3. Now some of you are wondering what the heck those are and why would I play that? Well, off of this A chord shape, and I've talked about this in other lessons, you have the major scale, but it's harmonized using harmonized thirds. So you keep going up through the whole major scale, harmonizing it that way. But this is a nice little, this is just one of the steps along the way, but this is a good one because you can use it as an embellishment off this chord. Just like that. Now think about that. Even if you go no further, you can take that concept. Let's do it over a D chord. We're playing the D chord using the A shape. We've just moved everything up. Now follow me here. We're going to play the triad there with our index finger. There it is, right? Here it is for C. So you could do it over any major chord is what I'm saying, using that chord shape. Okay, so let's get that rhythm down now with the embellishment. So we have 2, 3, 4. Notice the little muted strum in there? Right there? So those muted strums, they're a little different every time. The idea, though, is to keep the hand in motion like this. Da, 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 da. So you go. Even when you're not playing. So are you going to do a muted strum? That's fine. Are you just going to take your hand away and not play anything? That's fine too. The idea, though, is to keep the right hand in motion. You have to keep that motion. Okay, so if you've got that, you've got the call. Now everything else is just fills around that. So now we're going to take that minor pentatonic scale, the F sharp minor. Remember we just played the F sharp minor chord. So that means pattern 1 is right there. So that one makes perfect sense to use that as a starting point. I can play any notes I want from that minor pentatonic scale, that F sharp minor pentatonic scale, and it's going to sound great. Anything. So you can play what I play, or you can play your own thing. Right? You can just improvise all day long using notes from that minor pentatonic scale. But let's get into the specifics of what I play. This will give you some ideas. You can use those, and then hopefully you use that as a launch pad to start playing your own stuff. All right, let's listen to the first part then of what I played, and then we'll break it down. Okay, so you have the call. Now the response to that goes. Let's look at that. So I keep the bar there on the 2nd fret where I'm playing the A chord. Now I'm going to go to the 4th string and I'm going to do a hammer on between the 2nd fret and the 4th fret and then come up here to the 2nd fret 3rd string. And now watch this. So playing strings 2 and 3, there's the bar there on the 2nd fret. We're going to do a hammer on to the 4th fret 3rd string. Couldn't get that out. And then we're going to play the 2nd fret behind the bar there. So you have. I love that. And those two notes work because they're in the chord, right? In the F sharp minor chord. And then we're going to go 4-2 on the 4th string, and then This is coming to the 3rd fret, 5th string, and we're going to do a hammer on to the 4th fret on the 5th string. Hopefully you can see all of these notes are just minor pentatonic scale for F sharp minor, except for this note. And that's pulling you back into the A major chord, because that's where we're going next. I don't want to get into that those weeds, but that's what's going on there as far as the lick. Okay, now after that, I hit the open A string, that open 5th string, so that I can go back to the 1 chord, to the A chord. Play the same call. That's the same every time now. So the call is the same each time. Now the second time I played this lick. I love that. This is a classic lick that a lot of you are going to know if you've been playing anything in the pentatonics, because this is kind of 101 pentatonic stuff. So we're going to bar the first 2 strings on the 2nd fret, and then we're going to go to the 4th fret 3rd string, and we're going to do a full bend there. Now those of you on acoustic guitars, just do what you can. Just try and bend a little bit. You don't have to do a full if you can't. So you're bending up, and then you're going to play string 2 and 1. So you have, and then you're going to go to the 5th fret 2nd string. Sorry, 5th fret 2nd string down to the 2nd fret on the 2nd string. That's the first little part of that lick. And then watch this. So that's another bend, this time on the 4th fret 3rd string. And then we go 4, 2, 4th fret 4th string. And then we land on 2nd fret 3rd string, which is our A note. And then I match that note by hitting the open 5th string. You can hear they're an octave apart. And that's a perfect loop to get us back into the call. So from the beginning, we have second time, now here's the 3rd time. Okay, so what happened there? Now this time I slid up into, this would be pattern 2. Right? It's pattern 2 of your major pentatonic scale for A. It's pattern 2 of your minor pentatonic scale for F sharp minor. So I'm just staying in the minor pentatonic scale really for F sharp minor for all of this. So I slid up to 6th fret 3rd string, and then 5th fret 1st string. Now interestingly enough, if we were to play an A in the bass, that would be a harmonized 6. That would be just the notes of your A triad, or well, 2 of the notes of that triad. But that works so nice over that F sharp minor. And the interesting thing too in this is that we don't actually have a chord underneath it. You know, you're playing all of this on your own, but by going from straight from that F sharp minor, it's in the listener's ear. You then have shaped where we are in the song. So by playing those licks, it sounds minor pentatonic. So we come up to that 5th fret 1st string, and then watch this. So this is the one point where I slide away from the minor pentatonic scale and just go into, this would be A major scale, look. Right? But that's also F sharp natural minor scale. So anyway, we're going to slide down to the 4th fret, 1st string, and then we go 7, 5 on the 2nd string. And then a quick slide, we're going back into pattern 1 of that minor pentatonic. From the 6th fret 3rd string down to the 4th fret on the 3rd string, and then down to the 2nd fret. So that's what that lick looks like. Now there's one other little part here, which is the turnaround. And all I'm doing there is I'm playing a G to a D to an A. So the G chord, I'm not playing a G like this, no open strings, we're going just think of your G bar chord using the E shape. That's all that's happening there. But when I play it, I don't use all 6 strings. There's really no need for it. I just played this little piece of it, really 5 strings. Actually, it's more like 4 strings. But anyway, when I play it, I hammer on my middle finger. So I hammer on that 3rd interval of the chord, which would be the 4th fret 3rd string. So that means you've got to have your bar here ready to catch the note behind it. So you're really barring the first 3 strings on that 3rd fret. So it just gives a little embellishment to the chord. It sounds better to me than just strumming it straight. Then the D chord using the A shape, and then to your A chord using the E shape. Same thing we did for the G chord, we're just up 2 frets. So you have Okay, I'm going to end this part 1 video right here. We've covered a lot of information. If you're a premium member, remember you can learn the other 2 parts, which are in 2 sections. Same chords, we're just going to play them in different spots, and just so you can get more ideas. But just take what you've got from this. There's actually quite a bit that you can do. You can play your minor pentatonic scale all over the neck. Just make sure you come back to your A major chord and your F sharp minor chord, but it doesn't just have to be, there's a little hint for you, and that's what we do cover in part 2. It doesn't just have to be this A and F sharp minor. That's just the ones we started with. You have other ones, right? You have other options for playing those chords. So you just have to explore what region you want to be on the neck, play those chords, and then the licks that go with them. All right, we'll see you in part 2.